The year is 2026. In a fog-drenched studio on the outskirts of London, the atmosphere isn't just cold, it's electric with the scent of a multi-million-dollar gamble. Deep behind the monitors, a director known for gritty, visceral horror, T. West, watches a monitor. On screen, a man hunched over a counting desk, draped in Victorian rags, turns to the camera. The face is unmistakable, yet the eyes are different. This is the first time in nearly half a decade that the industry's most controversial icon has stepped onto a major studio set with the weight of the world on his shoulders. This isn't just another movie. This is Ebenezer, and for Johnny Depp, this is the end of the line. For the past few months, the headlines have been relentless. Johnny's last stand, the $100 million controlled experiment, the short leash. In the cutthroat world of 2026 Hollywood, where cancel culture has evolved into risk management, Johnny Depp is no longer just an actor. He is a liability to be managed. After years of exile, experimental French indie films, and a courtroom drama that redefined global media consumption, the gates of the Big Five studios have finally creaked open, but only enough for him to squeeze through. The narrative being pushed by every tabloid from London to Los Angeles is simple. Ebenezer is a make-or-break trial. If he succeeds, the comeback is complete. If he falters, the pirate stays marooned forever. But behind the clickbait titles and the grainy paparazzi shots of the London set lies a much darker, more complex story of an industry trying to figure out if it can still sell the man it once tried to erase. Tonight, we're diving deep into the controlled experiment of Johnny Depp's 2026. We're looking at the secret clauses in his contracts, the behavioral monitors reported stationed on set, and the massive gamble T. West is taking by casting the world's most polarizing star as the world's most famous miser. Is this a genuine artistic rebirth, or is Johnny Depp a prisoner of his own reputation? To understand why Ebenezer matters so much in 2026, we have to look at the vacuum Depp left behind. By late 2024 and throughout 2025, the Depp herd fatigue had finally settled. The public was tired of the vitriol, but the studios were terrified of the math. While his fan base remained arguably the most loyal and vocal in digital history, the insurance bonds required to put him on a major set were astronomical. For a long time, the word in Burbank was uninsurable. But then came the indie pivot. Depp spent 2025 working on smaller, European-backed projects like Jean du Barry, proving he could still show up, deliver a performance, and, most importantly, draw a crowd. It was a soft launch for a return to the mainstream. However, a French period piece is one thing. A $100 million reimagining of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carnage, backed by a major studio and directed by the darling of modern horror, T. West, that's a different beast. The industry calls it the experiment. By early 2026, internal memos leaked or were purposely planted, suggesting that Depp's casting in Ebenezer came with a list of stipulations longer than the script. The media latched onto the term controlled experiment because that's exactly what it feels like. The studio isn't just buying Johnny Depp's talent, they are renting his compliance. The stakes couldn't be higher. In 2026, the box office is struggling, superheroes are fading, and star power is the only thing left that can guarantee a global opening weekend. The studio knows that a Johnny Depp comeback movie is the ultimate marketing hook. But they also know that one headline about a late arrival to set or a confrontation with a crew member could sink the entire investment before the first trailer even drops. If you've scrolled through any entertainment newsfeed lately, you've seen the term, the short leash. Tabloids are reporting that the London set of Ebenezer is unlike any Depp has worked on before. Traditionally, Depp was the king of the set, bringing his own musicians, his own security, and his own rhythm. But in 2026, the power dynamic has shifted. Reports claim that the production has implemented a rigid schedule mandate. What does that actually mean? According to anonymous insiders who might just be studio plants trying to reassure investors, Depp is required to be on set 2 hours before his first call. There are rumors of a behavioral supervisor whose sole job is to act as a liaison between the actor and the studio executives back in Santa Monica. The controversy here is twofold. On one side, you have the Depp loyalists who see this as a humiliating insult to a legendary artist. They argue that the industry is treating him like a delinquent rather than a 3-time Oscar nominee. On the other side, you have the industry realists who argue this is the only way he gets to work. The paparazzi have been camped out near the London locations, desperate for a slip-up. Every time Depp is seen leaving his trailer, the cameras are looking for signs of fatigue, signs of the old Johnny. But so far, the narrative is shifting. Instead of wild man Johnny, we're seeing workhorse Johnny. The clickbait is pivoting from will he show up to can he survive the pressure. The irony of the role itself isn't lost on anyone. Ebenezer Scrooge, a man shunned by society, living in his own shadows, forced to confront the ghosts of his past to find a future. It's the most meta casting of 2026. T. West reportedly chose Depp not just for his ability to transform, but because Depp is Scrooge in the eyes of his critics. He is a man being haunted by the ghost of career past, the pirate years, the ghost of career present, the London experiment, and the ghost of career yet to come, the potential for a permanent Hollywood exit. Let's talk about the make or break reality. In the 2026 cinematic landscape, there is no middle ground. You are either a safe bet or you are toxic. If Ebenezer premieres at the end of this year and it's a critical and commercial smash, the controlled experiment will be declared a success. It will provide a blueprint for how Hollywood can reintegrate controversial stars. We'll see a flood of rehabilitation projects for other actors currently in the canceled bin. Depp will be the pioneer of the professionalism pivot. However, if the rumors of on-set tension prove true, if the film is delayed, or if the performance feels phoned in, it's over. Not just for this movie, but for the Depp brand as a whole. The 2026 audience is fickle. They love a comeback story, but they hate being proven wrong. If the short leash doesn't hold, the studios will fold. There's also the T. West factor. West is a director known for precision and low-budget efficiency. By putting him in charge of a $100 million Depp vehicle, the studio has created a pressure cooker. West doesn't have the old-school Hollywood patience for ego. This clash of cultures, the A24-style gritty realism versus the old Hollywood superstar eccentricity, is the real drama happening behind the scenes. The controversy isn't just about whether Johnny can be good, it's about whether he can be corporate. In 2026, being a great actor is 40% of the job. The other 60% is being a reliable asset. The clickbait headlines like Johnny's Last Stand are actually being fueled by the studios themselves. Why? Because it creates a narrative of consequence. It makes every ticket purchase feel like a vote for or against his redemption. As we look at the grainy set photos of Johnny as Ebenezer, it's hard not to feel the weight of the moment. We're watching a man fight for his legacy in real time. The Ebenezer project is the ultimate test of whether the public's obsession with a star's personal life can ever truly be separated from their work. The short leash controversy might be exaggerated for clicks, or it might be a literal clause in a legal document. But either way, it highlights the 2026 reality. Johnny Depp is walking a tightrope over a canyon of his own making. If he makes it to the other side, we're looking at the greatest career resurrection in the history of the moving image. He will have survived a global trial, a total industry lockout, and a controlled experiment designed to test his very sanity. But as the London winter sets in and production on Ebenezer nears its end, the question remains, can Johnny Depp play the game, or is the short leash eventually going to snap? The world is watching, not for the ghosts of Christmas past, but for the fate of a man who was once the biggest star on the planet, now fighting to prove he's worth the risk. This isn't just a movie, it's the final chapter of a legend. The make or break gamble has begun, and in 2026, there are no second chances.